Welcome to another video, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at Legion. I'm very excited about this one. I've played Legion not that much because there's usually not a lot of opportunity. A lot of lobbies don't let Legion in, but when you do get a chance to play Legion, let me tell you, they are some fun, exciting, unique units here. So first off, we got the Centura. This guy is honestly very similar to a pawn as far as like how fast he can move. I think he costs a bit more metal, but he is very, very effective. He's got a DPS of 100, and I think he has a little bit more speed. So I like to build a couple of these early game. This is the bots, by the way. I'm not getting into Legion vehicles at this moment, but just for now we're going to be going over all of their T1 bots. Anyway, the Centura, I might be pronouncing that wrong, but I think it's pretty close. He is a raiding bot. He's a fast assault bot, so the counterpart to the grunt or the pawn of the other factions, and he has a DPS of 100, and it's more of a burst. You can see it down here, the burst is 225, so it's not like the pawn that would do a consistent rate of fire, but it's a single burst of shots. See? And that's very interesting, because what you can do is you can, he's very mobile. He can pretty much turn on a dime. You can pop in, shoot, and then pop back. And he's very good at kiting the other players' like low level units. So like grunts and pawns, he's very good at kiting them, because as he's running, you can actually shoot at a pawn and kill it, and the pawn won't even be able to hit you. So very effective unit if microed properly, and honestly good at harassing the back line when you get a chance. So try to use these early game to harass the backline, and I think you'll find that they're very effective units at that. Next up, we have the Goblin. This thing is, I would say, comparable to a very, very slow version of a tick. Because, I mean, look at this DPS. It's only 29 DPS, so it's nothing, right? But the metal cost isn't very much either. And it's got a bigger range as well, which is honestly very unique. Most small units like this have a much smaller range, but definitely something that I haven't really found a lot of uses for. I've used it a little bit and not really had very good effects with it, just because it's so weak. It's got 200 health, it's got almost no damage. But you can try to use it like a tick and maybe push to the sides, and probably a little bit better on an open map where you can try to creep around the enemy and get to their back line and harass them. But I would consider this more of a long range version of a tick. But the range is definitely its greatest strength there, because most small weak units like this don't have a range quite so big. So try to use that to your advantage. If you want to do like early harassment, you can do it with this guy, because you could probably burst down a tick before it even gets to you because of your long range. So keep that in mind. Then we have the Lobber. I have not personally used this, but it has only the metal cost of 60, which is pretty interesting. That's a pretty low metal cost. And the DPS is also quite small. A burst of 75, total damage per second of 30. Most plasma bots have a damage DPS of 60, not 30. So it's a weaker one, but it also has less metal. So I'm wondering if, I haven't done the calculations, but I think it might be a little bit more cost effective than a normal bot, like a normal plasma bot. But definitely something that you would probably want to have towards your back, like more of a support unit, I think, than a frontline unit, because it is very weak. But like I said, I haven't used it much, so I don't know how people really use it in the meta. Then we got the medium rocket bot. This is just comparable, I think, to most other units or most other rocket bots. It might have a little bit more DPS than Armada or Cortex rocket bots. I believe they have a DPS of like 35 or something. But this guy has a little bit higher DPS. And I think probably the same range. I haven't really checked. And then this, the Carinos, this thing is awesome. I love this guy. So let's see. The range on it is 360 versus the rocket bot has 460. So the rocket bot has a little bit more range. But the Carinos is my absolute favorite unit. It has a two weapon system. So it's very good at like holding pushes, like aggressive pushes against you, or even doing like minor pokes because most early game units don't have super long range. So you can do like if someone had a line of pawns here, you could just murder all of those pawns without even getting touched because of their long range laser cannon. So boom, laser cannon can hit all the way out there. And it does decent damage. Let's see here. The heat ray does 160 damage. So if you get a bunch of these guys lined up, you can do quite a bit of damage pretty quickly every time it shoots. And then the second thing that it has is a riot cannon, which we'll see if it'll shoot for me. Boom. So it has two separate shots. One is an area of effect, which is rather large. That's a very large area of effect there. And the laser cannon as well. So you can double your damage by having them rush you or by pushing into them. It's just a very slow unit. So I would say this is your core front line. And then if you want to do some poking with your plasma bot or rocket bot, and then doing some raiding with your Centura and Goblin, those guys will be your best for like trying to creep around the front line. And then obviously the Thrasher is just a repeat of Cortex. It's just an anti-air bot. Very effective at anti-air, but you know, not all that exciting or unique. But yeah, we'll be continuing to do some more about Legion in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and subscribe and like the video. That helps out a lot. Also, we're doing submissions for reviews of gameplay. If you guys want to join the Discord channel and drop a replay file in there, we can take a look at that for you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.